It is WrestleMania 40 week, my friends, so you know what we have to do. We have to predict the damn thing, and make sure you do it as well in the comments below. And when we're all totally wrong, we can cry into our jeans. So I've just gone to Wikipedia for this because they've just got random match types based on what is going to happen on Saturday and Sunday. So of course we'll start with night one. And as it's right here, it is a singles match for the Women's World Championship. It's Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. If you have watched a lot of my content, you know it is nice and simple. I believe Rhea Ripley should win this. And the reason I think that is because we need some stories post WrestleMania 40, and Becky Lynch doesn't need to win. Becky Lynch is a super duper whooper star. She's always going to be a super duper whooper star. And while Rhea Ripley is kind of in that bracket as well, I think if Rhea wins this after a year-long title reign, it's going to surprise some people enough to where you're like, wow, well, I thought she was amazing before, but now she's double amazing. And then Becky Lynch can win it whenever. She can win it at Backlash, she can win it at SummerSlam, she can win it at Clash of the Castle. It actually doesn't matter by that point because Rhea Ripley will have cemented her run to such a degree that, yeah, we'll just start seeing it on that level. And also, when you first go through the card, you are like title change, title change, title change, title change. We can't change all the championships for the same thing that we have just talked about. Now, look, I think this match is going to be awesome. I think in terms of stealing the show, I don't want to call it a dark horse because that sounds too unfair. I think it has all the potential in the world to do that. But the card is so stacked, I would still throw it into that category. But yes, if you have got a bingo card or some kind of paper, I am going for Rhea Ripley. I think she retains. And we keep on with the titles as well because it's Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. Now look, I presume that Sami Zayn is going to win. However, because I have a bad side to my brain, I'm a little concerned that Chad Gable helping Sami Zayn out is not under good pretenses and he's going to screw him over. Now, actually what I would do if Chad Gable is going to get involved is I would probably have him screw over Gunther and Sami Zayn be annoyed by that and be like, what did you do? I wanted to beat this guy one-on-one and you took it away from me. Because I think, again, coming out of WrestleMania 40, that's a good phrase you're going to hear a lot during this video, we can then do Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable. Now, if you do that, and we still make sure we change the Intercontinental Championship, it means Gunther, who obviously will no longer be holding that title, can move into the main event scene, but can also be like, oh, hi, I never actually lost that championship properly, therefore, even though I have moved up the card, it makes all the sense in the world. Now, even if Gunther gets beaten 1, 2, 3 in the middle, it won't matter, because he's done so much good work, he has that respect from everybody, he has that credence, but look, if you do want to make sure there's stuff that we can do, and there must be a reason we have included Chad Gable, you don't need to do that, because I think he's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, if you're seeing this before SmackDown. But either way, I think Sami will win. I don't think that Gunther needs to hold that championship anymore, and if Cody Rhodes is going to win the championship, which again we'll talk about just a little bit later, Gunther can be one of his first challengers. And how do you do that? By doing everything I just said. We're also going to determine who the brand new tag team champions are because I'm going to have to read this, I won't remember. We do have the Judgment Day versus DIY versus the Awesome Truth versus the New Day versus the New Catch Republic versus A-Town Down Under, which I didn't know they were called. And I believe that's everyone. Is that 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I say the New Day? I can't remember. That's an absolute mess to look at. But look, as it was confirmed on Raw, we're just going to get through this one quickly. Somebody has to grab the Raw titles, somebody has to grab the SmackDown titles, or each belt counts as its own separate entity, which means a Raw team can grab one, the SmackDown team can grab the other one. I would give it to the Awesome Truth just for the pop on the night. No, I don't think they'll hold it for a long time. I'd also give it to the New Catch Republic. Not only is Star Wars going to be happy with that, but I think it kind of establishes them as a team as well, and they also don't have to hold that championship for very long. Now, I don't think we should start playing hot potato with the thing, but after all these long title reigns, if all of a sudden you do have brand new tag teams that do have some belts and you want to switch them around a bit, you totally can. I don't think the Judgment Day will retain. I think we've deliberately planted the seeds to underline that they're going to break up post-WrestleMania, which is fine. And I think that the Awesome Truth will probably feud with the Miz and R-Truth. No, so the Awesome Truth will feud with DIY, maybe. I don't know if that works. I mean, you could turn Gargano and Ciampa heel, to be completely honest with you, and that's a little bit strange. But I just think eventually the belts will wind up on DIY, and we can have bangers on Mondays, and we can have bangers on Fridays. But I am going to go for the Miz and Awesome Truth, as well as, who the hell did I say? The New Catch Republic. I can't get on board with that name. It's too weird. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso is also going down. Now, you'd have to imagine that Jey Uso is going to win. But given that the Bloodline like to be involved in everything, like it's Christmas Day, could we do it where Jimmy Uso wins? Because don't forget, if Jimbo does get the victory, then we could do something at Backlash, we could do something at SummerSlam, we could do something on television, on Raw or SmackDown. I don't know. I think it depends where it falls on the card on night one. And it depends. Well, the thing is, I do believe the Bloodline will win that big tag team match. So I think Jey Uso probably needs to win. There has to be some momentum going in the other direction. Otherwise, everyone is just going to cry tears. I just like this match from the human point of view because I'm a massive loser. I love the fact that Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, who debuted 10, 12, 13 years ago, whenever it was, with Tamina as their manager, there is nobody meaner. I don't want to say whether they're bland, but they were booked they didn't have much depth to them. And now they're going to have a match on a WrestleMania card, and it feels totally justified. And they are both awesome in their own right. Like, Jimmy Uso does not get the credit he deserves. The dude is absolutely hilarious. Obviously, Jey has the power in his pinky to go to the top of the card, should he so wish. So I am going to pick Jey Uso. But you have to imagine that Solo Sikoa probably is going to have a hoodie backstage. And as we have learned, if he wears a hoodie, no one actually knows it's him. He can do whatever he wants. I like to think that Dakota Kai and Damage Control, or Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka versus Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi is super, super simple. It doesn't actually even matter what we do with Bianca Belair, to be honest. And to a lesser extent, Naomi. I don't want to say that totally, because I think since she has come back, she needs something. But Jade Cargill absolutely needs all the power in the world, because she only debuted a few days ago, and you want to get her across like a superstar, which we are doing with that entrance, and the fact she absolutely destroyed Damage Control on Friday night. I don't think this needs to go long. Not in a bad way. I don't think we want to take time away from people. But if it was an absolute... Do you remember when we did... Who was it? It was The Shield, and they were taking on like Billy Gunn, Kane, and somebody else. It was the weirdest match ever. But because The Shield run rampant on WrestleMania, they came across like badasses, and I think we can do the same here as long as there's a plan in place for whatever is around the corner, because I don't want to murk off Damage Control too much, because they've done great work. But I think this should be the Jade Cargill show. If we have decided... if she is going to be a megastar, then just go with what is written down on the piece of paper, which is Jade Cargill being a megastar. So I am going to go for the good guys. Anything else would be absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of the same for the tag team match as well, which is Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee taking on Santos Escobar and Dirt Meat Dominic Mysterio. Well, now I've said that out loud. I love Dragon Lee, and I think he has all the upside in the world, and I think he's going to do great in WWE. But I don't know whether... Actually, I'm just going to go with it, right? There are going to be some twists and turns. Hopefully get another video done like that this week as well. On SmackDown, understandably, by the way, this was justified heel turn ever. When Santos Escobar says, look, I'm going to team with your son to take you on, Rey. Who are you going to pick as your partner? You've got Joaquin Wilde there, Cruz del Toro, and Carlito. Carlito's like, oh man, here's my time to spit some apple in someone's face. And he just calls out Dragon Lee, who's not even in the ring. And Carlito's face was great, because he was like, he was all annoyed. They did thank Dragon Lee, congratulate Dragon Lee, but he's obviously not happy about this. I think Carlito getting involved here doesn't have to join up with Legado del Fantasma, but him screwing over Rey Mysterio and doing a mini TV feud there, I don't actually think matters at all. And then Dragon Lee can lose, and we've got stuff to come out the other side. So I'm actually going to say that Santos and Dirty Dominic win here, especially because Dominic Mysterio, if we can, should pin his dad, especially if Carlito does screw over Rey, because obviously Dirty Dom lost last year, and if he wins this year, that's only going to give him more stuff to bleat about. So I've totally changed my mind. Carlito's going to get involved, and yeah, Santos and Dirty Dom win. Which brings us to our mega main event, which is the tag team match, which I absolutely think is the most easiest thing to predict in the world. You could do it where Cody Rhodes just has the greatest WrestleMania ever, and he wins here and he wins tomorrow, but sometimes it's nice to have jeopardy and things, as long as he's going to win that title on night 2. So I would have The Rock pin Cody Rhodes, to be completely honest with you. It could be Roman Reigns as well, but I think that Rock and Cody Rhodes have done so well together these last few weeks that if there is even the chance, even the potential of them having a match down the line, you want to keep it open. And I know now you're saying, but Simon, if it doesn't happen, then you just allowed The Rock to pin Cody. I know, but I'm a positive Pete. I'm a glass half full kind of a dude. If we can do it, and it's based on The Rock going, I beat you at WrestleMania, you absolute schmo, and then Cody beats him, oh my gosh, that'll be wonderful. And then there's more chance of it happening, because then they can arguably 1-to-1 on paper. But look, it doesn't matter. As long as Cody Rhodes is winning on Sunday, you can pin him here and it's fine. Because he's going to have such a mega moment on night 2. No one's going to remember that. Even if it is an overbooked mess, they're only going to remember that finally, Cody Rhodes became the super duper mega champion. So just for shibs and giggles, I'm going to say The Rock does pin him. Maybe there's a bit of animosity between him and Roman, because I think you do want to plant that seed as well. But of course, that will mean come night 2, which we're going to talk about right now, it is going to be bloodline rules. But instead, we will start with Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship with CM Punk on commentary. I think this could open night 2. I think that would be a great way to do it. And I do believe Seth should lose. I think Seth should be on Raw the following night, being a little bit down on his luck, because again, he lost a tag match, no fault of his own. And that's what I kind of think we should do here. I think he should lose through no fault of his own because CM Punk does something. Now, he should also murk Drew as well. CM Punk should walk out of there like, I think both you guys are losers. But putting a little bit of a chip back on Seth's shoulder and leaving him with nothing, I don't think is the worst idea in the world. And also, Drew has done such good work. He should get his moment at WrestleMania, especially because now in June, we're heading back to Scotland. And once again, we're going to this small chance thing. If we can do Punk versus Drew for the World Heavyweight Championship in Scotland, which is actually his home country, as opposed to Wales, which was the way we twisted it when we did the last one, I think that would rule. But I think sometimes if people do good work, they do deserve to be rewarded. Seth is so brilliant right now, to be completely honest with you. It doesn't matter if he can lose. He's still going to be a pivotal part of WWE. And Punk has to be getting involved too. But I'm going with Drew. Io Sky versus Bayley, I think, is a nice and easy one as well because we haven't changed other titles elsewhere. Although that does actually change what I'm going to do later, but that's fine. Bayley has to win. This is one that you do not need to push over, especially because if we're going to push over the Becky Lynch one, you don't want it to feel like a copy and paste job. Bayley has had a rightful claim for being screwed over a little bit when it comes to the Royal Rumble poster and being the Royal Rumble winner and kind of playing second fiddle. So just give her her big moment here. She beats Io Sky. She finally does over Damage Control. You can do a bunch of rematches, but she gets to have that amazing moment in front of 70,000 people or whatever it is. That's all I have to say about it as well, because again, it's one of these obvious ones. Should I stop the bad man trying to punch me in the face? Yes, because otherwise bad things are going to happen to me. Should Bayley win the WWE Women's title? Yes, she should. And you're never going to be able to convince me otherwise. We're also going to get LA Knight versus AJ Styles, and I get it. Maybe this one doesn't have as much heat as some of the other matches, but I did really enjoy the last two segments they've done. The home invasion was hilarious. LA Knight dressing up on SmackDown and AJ being a paranoid freak was absolutely hilarious. You should just let LA Knight win here. Like, AJ Styles is a bad guy, I think does have a lot of potential. But it still feels like LA Knight is a dude that WWE is trying to shift into a specific position. And by the time we get to SummerSlam, he should be fighting for United States Championship. And the best way to do that is to defeat AJ Styles here. You probably could do some shenanigans and allow him to do it at a following match, but there's no title on the line. People are going to be going crazy for the year. Let him hit the blunt force trauma, whatever the flub it's called, and he wins. It's nice and simple, and we don't have to overthink it. Which brings me to the United States title, where I've now changed my mind, because I have changed so many belts. I would actually have Logan Paul win here. And I would do that because Randy Orton and Kevin Owens fall out. They weren't able to coexist. Then I'd actually feud Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I think that's a wonderful program. It honestly just popped into my brain the last 35 seconds because it then means moving into SummerSlam, which I believe is in Cleveland, which is where Logan Paul is from. There you can do LA Knight versus Logan Paul. Now, you're walking a bit of a tightrope, but I don't think people in his hometown are going to cheer Logan Paul. They've never done it when Raw and SmackDown has been there. But I think, once more, if you need an amazing program that's not for a championship coming out the other side, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens is now something I desperately want to see. And KO has been sort of funny recently, which I always love, by the way. His humorous side is amazing. But if you get back to serious Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton always has that way about him, that could be fantastic. The real question being who turns heel. Maybe none of them need to turn heel. Maybe it can be a Shades of Grey feud based on the fact they kind of screw themselves over during this match. So actually, I think this will be a little bit of a surprise. I wouldn't have said this beforehand. I'm going to give it to flipping Logan Paul. We're also getting a random Philadelphia street fight, which is Karrion Kross's feud taking on Bobby Lashley's crew. I don't really think it matters what you do here. I think it's cool. It's in Philadelphia, ECW down the road, Paul Heyman going into the Hall of Fame. You probably want the Pride, as I believe they're called, Bobby Lashley, Angelo Dawkins, and Montez Ford to win, just because I think they have more upside. Like, Bobby Lashley especially should be in a higher position, as should the Street Profits. And that's not anything against Karrion Kross or the Authors of Pain. But I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. But I would put this somewhere maybe towards the end or the middle of the show, not where you need a break, but just where you can throw a bunch of people out there who you know are super duper good workers. They can smash each other with weapons. There'll be chance for tables. It will be really, really fun. And sure, once again, it lacks stakes, but if you are going to have this many matches on 2 cards over 2 nights, sometimes it just has to be for entertainment. That's the one. I'm giving it to Bob. And actually, you could put it where it is here, and you could then move right into the main event, which, as far as I'm concerned, given the predictions we've had, is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes in a Bloodline Rules match, and I think Cody should win. And I think it should be an overbooked mess. At one point, it should look like the Bloodline is just running the ring and there's nothing we can do. And then Seth Rollins should be here. Maybe Drew is there. You can have Punk. I don't care. The Usos, they're going to be back out too. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. And then, yes, I want John Cena. And then, yes, I want the glass to break. And don't tell me it doesn't make sense. The Rock and Steve Austin have had a feud since time began. John Cena literally got screwed over by Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline. He hates Roman Reigns and he has history with The Rock. You can tie all of these things in, and I think it would be wonderful. And what I am mainly equating it to is that I was very blessed to go to WrestleMania 38, right? When Austin came out, I lost my mind. I actually quite like just sitting in a chair and watching wrestling these days and taking the atmosphere. There's something truly wonderful about that. But when he came out that second night as a surprise, even though you could tell it coming a mile away, I lost my mind. It was the greatest thing ever, and that's what I want here. And I don't care if everybody beats up Roman Reigns for Cody Rhodes to get the pin. He's deserved it. Roman has screwed over everyone. Now, if there is a way where The Rock can be responsible, so we can then build to The Rock versus Roman Reigns, absolutely, that would be cool. And if there is a way where no one actually touches Roman other than Cody Rhodes, so he does have a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Credence, not the right word at all. But, you know, it's more protected that nobody else actually took out the tribal chief. Even better still. But even if everybody hits everybody else's person with their move, fine by me. It genuinely is fine. I don't care how we get to the end here, right? This one really is a journey match as far as I'm concerned. The destination is Cody Rhodes becomes the WWE champion. It's the best thing ever. And even if we have to see 92 stunners and 67 rock bottoms and a pop-up powerbomb and a loofah kick and whatever else it may be, curb stomp, I'm totally cool with it. I want this to be, it's a terrible comparison, but it's the one that comes to my brain. The whole Sting versus Triple H thing where DX were here and NWO were here, and that one didn't make any sense. That had a bunch of plot holes, whereas this one actually, especially given its WrestleMania 40 big anniversary, would make a lot of sense in the world. So I am very excited about this. I think WWE is going to have an awesome plan, and I think the whole thing is going to be amazing. But I'm giving it to Cody Rhodes, which I know annoys some people. I don't give a damn, man. It's the way to do it. Now, of course, look, there's comments down there. Let me know all your predictions so we can revisit these soon. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video that's on the screen. Click the bell so you get notified when these videos go up. Otherwise, it is grillermind.com/Simon. These are the supplements I use. Please do use the code and get some money off and try them for yourself. Patreon.com/Simon316, Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. Simon J. Miller on TikTok. Simon Miller on Cameo. Samson Athletics and Pro Wrestling tees for merchandise, especially if you want to wear one for WrestleMania. That would be fun. Now we relax and we count down the days because it is time for WrestleMania.